The biggest couple of weeks in women's sports are about to get underway. Linsay Sumpter, the commissioner of the Women's Rodeo World Championships, joins us. And Linsay, actually starting this weekend with barrel racing, it's on. I don't know if you have any plans for the next 2 or 3 weeks, but don't make any if you do.
Absolutely not. Yeah, the Cowgirl Gathering kicks off this weekend at 377 Arena with their barrel racing competition, and that is our last chance qualifier for Women's Rodeo World Championship, the largest all-female rodeo in the world, with this year over $800,000 added to female athletes in the barrel racing, team roping, and breakaway roping. And we're super excited to have the opportunity to work with Cowgirl Gathering. They're a wonderful organization that celebrates women just as much as we do, with the APHA. And due to all of the kind of construction and things going down at Will Rogers, they had to adapt a little bit this year, and they separated out their event to 3 weeks starting this weekend, like I said, at 377 with the barrel racing competition.
Yeah, that's out in Stephenville, Texas. There is, between the Women's Rodeo World Championships and the Cowgirl Gathering, $1.2 million on the line. The WRWC entries are available on the Next Gen Rodeo app. What are you expecting when you get to Cowtown Coliseum here in a week or two? I think it's going to be huge.
It is going to be huge. And I'm just excited to celebrate women who, are your non-traditional rodeo athletes who are competing, on the weekends, or maybe just in the summer run when they have a chance and they're not teaching school, or their kids are, finally off and everybody can go together. It is a feat in itself, married to a professional rodeo cowboy and being gone 9 months out of the year. It's hard. And so kudos to those ladies who can do that and have the mentality to be able to do that, because it's so hard on everybody. But then at Women's Rodeo World Championship, we're an inclusive environment for all female rodeo athletes, maybe like myself, maybe like Jamie, who helps you, who has a full-time job, who can't, be gone all the time. And they have a chance just as much as anybody to go to AT&T Stadium and hold up a big $60,000 check when it's all said and done, because we're bringing our classifications, our pro, challenger, and limited, and we're bringing all three classifications to AT&T on May 17th.
Yeah. So let's talk about the structure and how this is all going to work. You offer team roping, breakaway roping, barrel racing, and this year, goat tying. Talk about all
that. Are you excited? I'm so excited. Goat tying is one of those sports that you talk about athlete. My dear friend Stacy Martin, she's very involved with the goat tying community, and she clocks the girls getting off their horses, and she clocked one of her students going 31 miles per hour, getting off a horse and staying on her feet. And so we're just excited that Smarty Rodeo came in and appreciated the opportunity that we were giving to goat tyers and having a goat tying showcase. There's $10,000 added there for the goat tying showcase. We brought the top 20 in the leaderboard to Women's Rodeo World Championship in all the disciplines, in all the classifications. That is your number one ticket on how to get to Women's Rodeo World Championship, is through the leaderboard, and then our qualifier series, and then through the last chance qualifier with Cowgirl Gathering. But really, 187,000, a little more than 187,000 in the barrels breakaway and heading and heeling, and then 10,000 in the goat tying, and then 10,000 in both of the limited competitions. There's just a lot of money to be won by everybody, honestly.
There will be a welcome gala on May 11th, and then round one of the competition starts on May the 12th, runs through May the 14th. That's all at Cowtown Coliseum in Fort Worth. And then the champions get to go on and do something that I can't imagine isn't like a memory for a lifetime, to compete in front of the crowd at AT&T Stadium as part of the PBR World Finals on May the 17th.
Absolutely. About only like 30,000 people. That's more than all of my small town community, Southeast Colorado, put together. I'll be, joined together to celebrate these ladies during the PBR World Finals. And thank you to our wonderful parents of the WCRA and the PBR for even, seeing that women were underserved in the rodeo community about 6 years ago when they started, to make this the largest all-female rodeo, and then to showcase the ladies on the center stage at AT&T. There's no better place. There's no better atmosphere. It's really exciting. I kind of pride myself in making sure that the ladies have the best opportunity, and we have open arena. We have practice cattle that we bring in so that you can kind of get comfortable and see how it all feels and how fast it's going to be in that arena. It's right after the Kid Rockin' Rodeo on May the 16th. And then we go right into the 17th, so they can kind of see some competition in the arena in that setup. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I want to ask you about the structure of all this and what ladies need to know on this date as you and I are talking. But I'm just curious. You talked about cattle and things like that. Your breakaway roping, your team roping, that requires a lot of calves, a lot of steers. Now you got to add goats in there. There are going to be hundreds of horses coming too. How do you handle all this? Where do you put it? How many? What are the numbers look like as far as all the different animals it takes just to make this all work?
Absolutely. When it's all said and done, we'll have about 400 contestants between all of those disciplines. And that's a lot of girls, and that's a lot of horses, and that's a lot of cattle, like you said. Thank you to our partners at Will Rogers. The stalling is still available there. So there's stalls available at Will Rogers. We have great cattle contractors who come in and really listen to, I would say probably me. I'm pretty adamant about making sure that the cattle are correct for our disciplines. Our team roping steers, that's a tough arena to team rope in. There's no way about it. Cowtown Coliseum is not team roper friendly. It's a small arena. It's a small setup. So making sure that the cattle are preconditioned correctly for, our setup and for those ladies, have a lot of conversations with them. But, our team that we have that helps put together Women's Rodeo World Championship is the most elite, producers on the planet, in my opinion, and everybody works really hard so that we all have an equal opportunity. And that's the most important. You don't want to feel like you don't have a chance because you're a limited cowgirl, or you don't have a chance because you're in the end of the draw in the barrel race. We rake every 4 barrel racers. I mean, we try really, really hard to make everything as even as possible. Pretty exciting this year that we're going to be kind of featured as your primetime spot for the Cowboy Channel with our new partnership with Teton and Cowboy Channel. And we're very excited about that. We're going to bring the top 12 in each classification for those performances on Monday and Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we'll have just a pro performance and just a challenger performance. And you'll see that there's not a huge difference in between the athletic ability of those ladies. It's just a difference in opportunities on how many times that you get to, rodeo and compete for a living, and how much money that you've won. And the athletic ability of these ladies is bar none so impressive, from the goat tying all the way to the barrel racers. I mean, some of those things that those ladies can do on a almost probably 1,500 pound barrel horse are pretty impressive as well.
So let me ask you about the technicalities of what folks need to know at this point. As you and I are talking on April the 22nd, we're getting close to the time that the Women's Rodeo World Championships will begin. You have various classifications for, based on skill level and experience and all those kinds of things. Talk about all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Women's Rodeo Championship is our governing body. And what we have done is went ahead and looked at the playing field of female athletes. You have ladies from Martha Angeloni all the way to one of my dear friends, Alma Beth Case, who's 70 years old and she was Miss Rodeo America. She worked at the college that I work at and decided to knock the dust off her rope can and go back to roping. And so she's in our limited competition. Or Wiley Joe Hodges, a young cowgirl who's just kind of starting to get roping, 13 years old. So really what we do is we have pros, challengers, and limited. The pros are the ladies, if we're talking in the breakaway roping, that have won over $30,000 in their lifetime earnings and kind of do that rodeoing for a living, have made the NFR, hold a WPRA card, made circuit finals, all of those kind of entities. Then you have your challenger. Say more of your amateur rodeo cowgirl, your college athletes, ladies who have won less than $10,000 in their annual earnings and less than $30,000 in their lifetime. And then your limited are the cowgirls that have won less than $5,000 in their lifetime earnings and are just kind of either getting back into the sport or maybe at the end of their career. In the barrel racing, ladies in the barrel race who have won over $100,000 in their lifetime earnings, hold a pro card, make those amateur or pro rodeo, circuit finals. And then the challenger is less than $100,000 lifetime earnings. And then we have the limited category, which is your true, 4D barrel racer, a woman who doesn't have a WPRA card, who doesn't go to the amateur rodeos, who doesn't really like the rodeo atmosphere. That limited competition is a 4D barrel race. It is not a true rodeo fastest time wins. It's a 40 barrel race. We'll be giving buckles and money and prizes to everybody in each D of that limited barrel race. So those are your kind of 4D barrel racing athletes, that limited classification. It's very important to think about that they have a chance to kind of come and kind of dabble their feet a little bit, but still stay comfortable in that 4D atmosphere. And then in the team roping, a number 4.5 or higher is a pro, and a 4.5 and under is a challenger. There is no limited in the team roping. The numbers just don't allow for that deep of a classification.
Yeah. There are opportunities there for everybody.
Absolutely.
I there's a part of me that wants to ask a question about why all this matters. And I think the answer is because you've created so many new opportunities for everybody, from that 13-year-old kid you talked about to that former Miss Rodeo America who gets to go out and compete all over again.
Mm-hmm. It's important. Our rodeo community is small, and we all think it's big, but the degree of separation is so minimal in between you and heck, throw Donald Trump in the mix. We're one phone call away. We could probably get him on the phone. I mean, it's just because of our community, and so small and so tight knit. But it's hard to think that I'm of the generation when I finished college, I was pretty much done as a breakaway roper. There wasn't a lot of opportunity for it. And so now the breakaway roping has gotten really big, but it's really hard. It's really hard. The rodeos are limited. It's very expensive. The jackpot numbers have kind of diminished. And then you look at the barrel racing, and you look at how much there is in the barrel racing. There's probably over 100,000 women that like to run barrels and go to that 4D atmosphere, but maybe they think it would be cool to have a chance to run at AT&T, right? To maybe run against Sherry Serby or Haley Kinsel or, Brittany Posey, some of those ladies that are their idols. And this is a chance for everybody to come together in a collective unit. It's not every day you get to back in the box and rope against Martha, but don't have to beat her in the beginning, right? She and Jackie and Larry D and Hope and Kelsey and all of those girls can compete, and they can fight it out to get to their 3 to the end. And then the challengers get to fight it out to their 3 in the end and get confident and really just hone in and know exactly where they're at. And then everybody comes together, and the limited is the same way. It's a deed format for the limited breakaway roping. So really just this awesome atmosphere to have this inclusive environment to bring everybody together, because there's not every day that you get to say you got to rope and wear the same jacket and wear the same contestant gear that, your idols get to wear. And because you don't have that opportunity because you're a lawyer and you just had a court case and, wherever you're at and you can't do it, or you're a dentist, or heck, you're just a mom and it's hard, it's just a great chance to bring everybody together and celebrate females in our industry.
What do ladies who would like to enter, who would like to compete, need to know? At this point, I think you're buying your membership for 2026, right? As
Absolutely.
You and I are talking on April 22nd. What does everybody need to know?
Yeah, so we're in April to April year. So our year runs, 2026. If you go onto the virtual rodeo qualifier and you choose your event, which I'll kind of back up just a little bit, you got to start at Next Gen Rodeo and go in and buy your Women's Rodeo Championship ID card. And that ID card allows us to classify you. There's a questionnaire that you'll fill out, and we'll classify you in your discipline. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2 is to go to Women's Rodeo Championship app and download the app and build your profile in the virtual rodeo qualifier, which that allows you to go to any rodeo event across the country, from Cheyenne Frontier Days to Fowler Roping Club just down the road. And as long as we can verify that it is a true event, get all of the information from the secretary and all of the secretary sheets so that we can get the results, then we can start administering points to where you win in the money that you've won. So you go into the virtual rodeo qualifier, you nominate your event. I always like to call it just doubling down your money. You're already going, you already paid your fuel, you already paid your entry fees, pay your nomination fee, and get on the leaderboard for Women's Rodeo Championship in your classification. We bring the top 20 in the leaderboard. And then we do have qualifier series across the country. We work with a lot of great producers. We just did a great deal with the MBHA, and we're so thankful to them. A lot of their super races are going to have Women's Rodeo Championship side pots, and they'll be QS, which is qualifier series, your straight shot to Women's Rodeo Championship. We work with Darren Peterson with the BFI. We just work with a lot of great producers, and they allow us to be qualifier series for women's rodeo championships. So straight shot to there. And then obviously, like we're having right now with Cowgirl Gathering, which is also a qualifier series for 2026. So you can not only get your last chance in for W25, but your first chance into W26 right there at Cowgirl Gathering this weekend in the barrel race.
That virtual rodeo qualifier has been a big deal. It's
cool, really.
Yeah. I have two final questions, and I know you have a meeting, but I don't want to make you late.
No, we got time. We got lots of time. Okay.
That old barn in Fort Worth, the Cowtown Coliseum, starting May the 8th at the PBR World Finals Elimination Round, and all the way up through your event, May 12th, 13th, and 4th. That thing's going to undergo a few facelifts in a very short period of time, isn't it?
Absolutely. It'll turn over really fast. I mean, we compete on Wednesday morning and have our semifinals and crown our world champions. And like I said, be on the Cowboy Channel, live on the Cowboy Channel. Super excited to crown. We're beside the PBR. We give $5,000 cash bonuses to our world champions. Isn't that cool? I mean, they fought the whole year to have that gold buckle. And, we crown those world champions and give them their cash bonus right there. And then, like you said, the rodeo, the Cowtown Coliseum turns over and it turns into a bull riding arena. And it's just fun to see how much the sport has evolved. Growing up in the industry, I've packed my set of panels for sure to set up arenas all over the country, and to see how fast they can make the atmosphere in a building change is pretty exciting.
Yeah. Linsay, I want you to tell me about the next couple of weeks of your life between the Women's Rodeo World Championships, and you are also Bobby Moat's assistant coach on the free riders of the that'll be the team that is competing at Kid Rock's Rock and Rodeo. You and Bobby won't even find out who's on your team until
5 days before.
Yeah. You get the champions and the reserve champions from Rodeo Corpus Christi become the free riders, and you happen to be the defending champions. You won it last year. You don't know if you'll have any of those same team members on your team this year or not. But you've got a very, very interesting next 2 or 3 weeks of your life ahead, I think, don't you?
Absolutely. It is crazy. It turns into a little bit of a whirlwind. I was just in Fort Worth for the Rodeo Committees Association's conference and for the American, and what a great experience that was. All the rodeos I've been to, I had never been to the American, so I was happy to be there this year. But we go from kind of winding down at school and finishing up the semester for school for the boys and for the college that I work at, Otero College, straight into Rodeo Corpus Christi. And I loved my team last year. We had so much fun. It was a great team, and everybody just kind of banded together. And that's really what Bobby and I are. We're very passionate about making sure that there's that team atmosphere. Being a college rodeo coach for 15 years, I kind of understand that part of it. And I kind of have my way of coaching, and I just brought it straight to Kid Rock and Rodeo. And we'll do the same thing. I mean, either way, no matter what, our team is built off of a team of winners. I mean, you can win up to 25, 30,000 at Rodeo Corpus Christi if you get on a run. And so when you come off of that big win, you have a lot of confidence anyways. And then when you have I'm kind of a rah girl anyways. I'm a cheerleader all the way. Bobby, he's the more serious one, but I'm kind of the cheerleader. I'm always, hooting, hollering, and carrying on, and just kind of trying to build everybody up. And so, I just love the concept that everybody got to choose their team. They got to pick all the gold buckles they want. We're going to end up with gold buckles on our team. I know it. And I'm just excited. That's a cool experience to put that team together and make sure that they understand the concept behind it. And we really pride ourselves on understanding how the rules are and how the rodeo is going to function. So it gets a little crazy. So we go straight from Corpus to women's. I fly in the morning from Rodeo Corpus to our back number gala and put my fancy dress on and celebrate those ladies at the back number ceremony on Mother's Day, and then straight into round 1, round 2 in the semifinals. Thursday, we get a little downtime, and then straight to Kid Rock and our championship on the 17th.
Wow. Well, there you go. Linsay Rosser Sumpter, the commissioner of the Women's Rodeo World Championships. Go to the Next Gen app. Linsay, that's probably the most important thing for folks who haven't entered yet is get on the Next Gen app, get on the virtual rodeo qualifier, and get yourself joined, and then maybe make some plans to try to be there in Fort Worth.
And go to Cowgirl Gathering. Get that card bought. Go to Cowgirl Gathering, nominate, and get your chance in for this year and next year, all in one event. And like I said, thank you to Cowgirl Gathering for being our last chance qualifier. And we're excited. It's crazy. And you know this, Steve, we get to going and life happens. And then all of a sudden you're like, holy smokes, it's here. Like we gotta almost start packing, make sure our clothes go to the cleaners and get ready, because it's coming hard and fast, whether we want it to or not.
And don't forget, you can watch both the PBR World Finals this year and the Women's Rodeo World Championships on the Cowboy Channel. And that'll be the first time for all of that coming to the Cowboy Channel. Linsay, I appreciate your time. I know you've got a lot to do today. Thank you. And we will see you sometime soon.
Yes, thank you. I miss you. I miss our show. We had so much fun.
Well, we need to talk about that sometime.
Yeah,
we'll do that not in public. We'll do it in private. But yeah, I agree. It was a good time hosting the NFR a couple of years ago. And yeah, let's talk sometime, shall we?
Yes. Happy Tuesday. Thank you.
I'll let you get through all this other stuff in your life first, but we need to talk.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Linsay Rosser Sumpter, thank you.